Good morning, David, Steve, and members of the board. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to talk to you today about an important topic, crisis management. My goal is to provide you with an overview of crisis management, why it is important for Allergy Partners, and to ask for your endorsement for the establishment of a formal crisis management program. To start with, what is a crisis? Intuitively, we all know what it is, but there are a variety of definitions. I think this definition is a good one. A crisis is a low probability, high impact event. That is something out of the realm of day-to-day business that threatens the viability of the organization and is characterized by ambiguity of cause, effect, and means of resolution. Times are uncertain, as well as by belief that decisions must be made swiftly. An important caveat is that while emergencies such as natural disasters or medical emergencies are one type of crisis, not all crises are emergencies. Perhaps the defining crisis of our times is the COVID-19 pandemic. The nation closed down, and so did much of Allergy Partners. Core services declined 70%, and many offices shuttered their doors and furloughed employees. Yet Allergy Partners weathered the storm. We launched telemedicine rapidly. We ensured patient employee safety so that essential in-office services could be provided, and we had diversified into biologics. While our response proved effective, there were missteps and missed opportunities along the way. The mad scramble for PPE and the lack of a standardized staffing reduction model, to name but two. COVID taught us much, and one such lesson is the need for a formalized, structured approach to crisis management for the crises to come. So what is crisis management? Crisis management is part of corporate strategic planning that provides a proactive approach to the identification, prevention, and mitigation of crises. Crisis management can be viewed as a cycle that emphasizes ongoing organizational learning to better prevent and prepare for crises, and then apply lessons learned to become more effective going forward. The linchpin of a crisis management plan is the crisis management team. This team is a core group of individuals tasked with the formulation, implementation, and ongoing revision of the crisis management plan. Indeed, the first task of the team will be to formulate the crisis management plan. Importantly, the crisis management team functions not only to respond to ongoing crises, but to identify, mitigate, and manage risk prior to a crisis, and to apply the lessons learned from any incident to improve not only the crisis management plan, but the organization as a whole. Drilling down, the crisis management team is tasked with a variety of functions. The first is identification of potential crises. The team will survey the internal and external environment to identify risk and stratify them based upon probability of occurrence and magnitude of impact. Preparation. Having identified a potential crisis, the team will develop detailed plans to prepare for them. Such planning will include assessment of our current state, the identification of gaps and needs, and recommendations on remediation. Prevention. To the greatest extent possible, the primary goal of crisis management is prevention. Through education and training, remediation, and risk mitigation, the team will evaluate the best means of crisis prevention. Response. Despite these efforts, crises can and will occur. The team will develop, refine, and disseminate detailed response plans that will ensure that, when a crisis erupts, people will be prepared. To be clear, no plan can foresee the future perfectly, and adjustments will be needed. However, as we all know from clinical practice, having a rehearsed and practiced code protocol makes the treatment of a critically ill patient less chaotic and more successful. Additionally, communication plays a central role in crisis response. Timely, concise, and clear communication is crucial. Anything less only serves to amplify the crisis. Recovery. All crises end, but the recovery to either business as usual or the new normal can be difficult. Here, too, the crisis management team is tasked with preparing and implementing strategies and tactics to ensure a rapid and full recovery. Learning. At the heart of crisis management is organizational learning. A crisis management plan is a living document that must be constantly revisited, revised, and improved. No two crises are the same, and each provides lessons that must be applied to the future. Indeed, the lessons of COVID must not be ignored. In closing, I ask that you, the board, endorse formal crisis management as a crucial component of strategic planning, authorize the formation of a crisis management team, and approve the budget for administrative support and outside consultants. An initial draft copy of our crisis management plan has been placed in your briefing materials. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate any questions or comments.